What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to the Monday night call. This is my favorite time of the week. I love doing these calls. I love getting on here and sharing, some of the things that I've learned over the years that have helped me have success in my business. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's having a phenomenal Monday night. A beautiful start to the week. Let's go. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Jay Patnode. I am one of the leaders here at the Phenomenal Driven Trading. And tonight, we have some really special stuff for you guys. The very beginning of the year, the first call that we've done for the year, me and my business partner, we're going to be speaking, and I am so pumped. The stuff that we're going to be going over tonight is some massive keys and massive things that we've implemented in some goal setting and a lot of different mindset stuff that we've used over the years to translate into thousands and thousands of people into our organization, and to go right along with it, a substantial amount of income. So we are very blessed and excited to be able to give back the same information. And I want you guys to know the reason why we do these calls and the reason why you want to be on these calls is because every leader, every successful person, or anybody that's had success in a field has, moments in time or different, stories or different, things they want to share with you that can help cut down the time that it took for you to have success. Success leaves clues, right? A lot of the stuff that I have implemented into my business is stuff that I've learned from other people. I've used different, keys and different tips and tricks and stories in my life to help speed the process of success up. Instead of having to go through trial and error, you can learn from others' mistakes and use that to cut the time in half. What took me 3, 4, 5 years to have success with, it can take a year for you or 2 years for you, or even faster, whatever it may be. So that is why we like to do these calls. We like to give you guys the information so you guys can shorten that time for yourselves, because that's what it's about. We want to help other people have success, as a team. What does team stand for? Together, each other achieves more, right? So as a team, as a unit, as a group, we can have more and more success. So I am very grateful. I am very humbled to be here with you guys tonight. With that being said, I want to jump right into the information. So for me, when I was looking at, how do I want this year to go? What do I really want to focus on for the year? And I really got to thinking and contemplating and, game planning and different things like that, right? And the one thing that came to my mind was 2023 is the year of massive action. Massive action. We have the keys, we have the clues, we have the guides, we have the leadership, we have the blueprint, right? To have success. Now it is on us to go ahead and execute these things. So I want you guys to write this down. I want you guys, if you guys don't have a pen or a paper already out, make sure you're taking, out and writing notes, because it is a proven fact that you will forget 90% of this information if you do not have it written down. And, note takers are money makers. So make sure you're getting that out so you are ready and prepared to be able to use this information, at a later time. But this is the year of massive action, everybody. I want you guys to write on your papers, on your notes, if you're taking notes on the cell phone, whatever it may be. I want you guys to write in all caps, massive action. This is the year of more doing, less talking. Have your game plan, which we're going to give to you on this call. Josh is going to be going over some great questions that you'll be able to answer and utilize and, attack for the year and for the next 90 days or so. But I want you guys to start focusing on the action steps. The action steps are going to be everything, because we can game plan, we can give you guys clues, tips, tricks, blueprints, whatever it may be, but if you're not using it, it does nothing. My favorite quote, and anybody that's been with me long enough knows I love to say it, but it's still always true to this day, is people think knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. We've heard that term so many times, right? You hear that all the time from, a lot of great people, right? But I don't think it's true, because to know and to not do is the same as not knowing at all. So applied knowledge is power. Applying these steps that we're going to go ahead and give you, these tips, tricks, blueprints, whatever you want to call them, into it, that is how you have massive success. So if you guys are fired up to take massive action in 2023, let me see some 777s in the chat. You guys are fired up to take massive action and really dominate the business. Let me see. Let me see, 777. I love to see. If you're ready to take massive action, what does massive action bring you? Massive results, massive success. So I love to see those sevens. I love to see those sevens. So I'm going to give you guys some of the mind print or the mindset and the blueprint, how to have massive success. What are some of the factors for it? And one of the biggest things when you're trying to build a business or build your mindset or build, success in your life is you need to start getting comfortable with not seeing results right away. You need to start getting comfortable with not getting that instant gratification. And we're so conditioned as a society these days to go ahead and everything we see is instant, right? We have TikToks, we have Reels, everything comes at us at a very fast, high pace, level, right? We're used to seeing, those quick laughs, those quick jokes, getting that instant gratification. We're not in the business of instant gratification. We're not in the business of instant success. The greatest things in the world, the biggest empires, weren't built in a day. Amazon was not built in a day. Facebook was not built in a day. The greatest companies in the world were not built in a day. So understand that it is going to take time, right? A lot of times, think about it. You go to the gym and you work out, you get a nice lift in, right? You come home, you look in the mirror. What do you see? Nothing. Okay, you go ahead and go the next day. Get a nice workout in, you come home, look in the mirror. What do you see? Nothing. Okay, you go for a week, come back, look in the mirror. What do you see? Nothing. And so because you see nothing, that means it's not working. So you give up, right? That is how, we all know that that's not what it is in the gym, right? That is not what it is in life. You have to understand that you're not going to see the results right away. They're not going to come to you right away. It's not about, going hard for 9 hours one day or going hard for 9 hours for 1 week. It's not about the intensity of the events. It's not the intensity. It's not the events. It is the consistency. It is, you're going to the gym. If you go ahead and you give it 30 minutes or an hour every single day for a year, you are going to see results. It's the same thing with this business. If you go hard, you give yourself an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, as much as you can give every single day on a consistent level, you will see results. It's not about, going hard and messaging 100 people one day and not doing anything the next day. It's not about studying 10 hours one day and not doing anything the next day. It is about the consistency. How consistent can you be? Let this be a year of, and again, massive action. Whatever you can give on a daily basis, make sure you can give that. And if you give that consistently, I promise you, your life is going to get a lot better. You are going to see the results. There's no better time to start than in January because you have a whole year to measure, where you are from where you are today to where you will be in the future. So I'm going to give you guys a couple different things. I'm going to be speaking a lot of threes, pairs of threes or, groups of threes right now, right? The very first thing I want you guys to write down is there's 3 enemies of success. And I'm going to give you guys the 3 A's of success. So the 3 enemies of success are fear, indecision, and doubt. Fear, indecision, and doubt. Those are the 3 enemies of success. Make sure you are writing this down. Fear, being afraid of the action, being afraid of what to do. You're not understanding. Fear kills more dreams before they even start. Fear kills the dream before it even starts. Indecision. I always tell people a confused mind does nothing. If you are confused, you are not going to do anything. That's why we have these calls. That's why we have the academy. That's why we have these speed up. That's why we have leaders. And then doubt. If you are not 100% sure that this is going to take you to the next level in your life, in your future, in your relationships, in every aspect and area of your entire life and well-being, then it's not going to work for you. You have to be unequivocally, understanding that this is it. You are without a doubt understanding that this is the place to be. You are with the right people at the right time, right now, right here today with Inside Driven. You have the leadership. You have, every tool, tip, trick, resource, blueprint. I'm going to say that again, to have massive success. So understand there are 3 enemies of success. That's fear, indecision, and doubt. So wipe those all out of your mind. And now the 3 A's of success is attitude, attendance, and achievement. When it comes to attitude, are you positive? I have thoroughly believed this ever since, honestly, it's been since I was 15. I do not speak on negativity. I try to make sure negativity is nowhere near around me. Positivity is the only way to go. If someone brings me a problem, I don't like to just talk about the problem. I like to talk about the solution as well. Don't just bring a problem, bring a solution with it. Be positive, understanding that, life is a journey. It's a roller coaster. It's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, right? But if you are positive, if you are understanding that things are going to get better, life has a funny way of correcting itself. In life, and when it comes to your business as well, you will have massive ups and you will have downs. You'll have ups, you'll have downs. Everything always levels itself out. So don't get too high, don't get too low, but always understand that things will get better. Keeping a positive mindset. The second A, attendance. Come on, guys. It's very simple. Attendance. Being on calls like these, showing up to the event in Orlando, showing up to, the Monday night calls, the Wednesday night calls, the trading calls, being present. Attendance is everything. You need to start getting in proximity of success. Proximity of success. Be around people that have what you want. You can't spend your whole entire, time or put all of your energy into people or things that aren't making you better. You can't tell me that you really, really want it. You really want to be successful. You really want to change your situation and your outcome and be financially free, spiritually free, emotionally free of all pain. If you're not attending calls like these, it just doesn't make sense. You're lying to yourself. You can't tell me you really want it if you're not going to be in Orlando. It's that simple and plain. Money, you can say money this, money that, but you've known about this for a long time. If you just joined, okay, I get it. There's still a way. If there's a will, there's a way. How bad do you really want it? If I told you right now, if you go to the event, you'll make $1 million this year. Once you find a way to make it, that's how you have to treat it. If I told you right now, if you attended the event, you would make $1 million this year. You would do everything in your power to make it. You would DoorDash, you would Uber Eats, you'd work side odd jobs. You'd call, your uncle that you haven't spoke to in years and said, you need me to, shovel your snow or mow your lawn. You would figure out a way to get there. So attendance is everything. Make sure you are present so you can, get these clues. Like I said, success leaves clues. People that you will hear from that are on these calls are on it for a reason, right? The company feels comfortable enough to put them onto it because they feel as if they have something that they could share with the rest of us, right? So attendance. So we have attitude and attendance. And the third one is achievement. Achievement is a part of success, right? Achieving the goals that you set for yourself, which Josh is going to talk about. He's going to give you guys a great goal setting platform that I want you guys to be very engaged with. But achievement, are you hitting your goals? Are you setting these goals? Are you achieving them? Because all success is just going from one achievement to the next. You keep going, you keep setting goals for yourself. You keep working hard for them. You keep taking, again, massive action. 2023 is the year of massive action. I am so excited. I am so excited to see the people that are putting their all into it and actually taking advantage of what is around them and what is provided for them. Because I've heard some people talk, this year I'm gonna be a millionaire trader. This year I'm gonna make 6 figures in network marketing. This year I'm gonna go ahead and build to be this, and this and that. But they don't do anything. They sit there and we call them cookie eaters. They're still here, just they love it. They love to be around the environment. It's time to take massive action because I can promise you, if we go ahead and give you, steps and tips and tricks, right, to do and go have success with, if you're doing them, you will see some sort of results. You will see results. It's the people that do nothing that don't get results. And if you have been doing them, you're not getting, results with those, okay, all right, message me. We'll talk about it. We'll change it. We'll figure something out, right? We'll figure out a way to have massive success for you, right? And so this year, when you're taking massive actions, and I talked about, fear, indecision, and doubt, the 3 enemies of success and distractions, right? People can get distracted easily away from the goal. And that takes time. You have to build it, but understand something. There was a story, it was a quote that I heard that I really, really fell in love with. A ship doesn't sink because the water around it. A ship doesn't sink because there's water around it. A ship sinks because the holes that are in it. Water gets into the ship. You are a ship. There is water all around you. There's distractions. There is people. There is Netflix. There is sometimes significant others. There are friends with, bad mentalities that are not, driven to be successful or don't want to see you be successful because they're not, right? That's the water around you. It's always around you. But the ship doesn't sink because of the water. It's because the holes that are around it. You have to make sure your ship is solid. You have to make sure your mindset is bulletproof. You have to make sure there is no fear, indecision, or doubt in your mind. You have to stay away from the three enemies of success. So understand that. Have your ship have no holes in it. Make sure your ship has no holes in it. Make sure your mindset is bulletproof. If you truly believe that you are going to be successful in this industry, then nothing can, sway your mind anywhere else. And people always ask me, how do you keep your mind like that? How are you able to not worry about what other people say? For me, there's a couple of different things. One is, to be honest with you, nobody else is paying my bills besides me. No one else is going to retire my mom besides me. No one else is going to fly me out to, Turks and Caicos and have my feet in the sand with a nice pina colada. It's going to have to be me. I don't have anybody that's going to do that for me. So understanding that at the end of the day, you are in 100% control of your destiny. All you have to do is take massive action. So let this be the year that you take massive action and don't worry about the distractions, and make sure, like I said at the beginning, you are comfortable with not seeing results right away. If you have that bulletproof mindset and you truly believe that you are going to have success in this industry, you are truly believe that by the end of 2023, by 2024 come, you will be financially free. You will be unburdened with the pain and the struggles of what, life can bring to you, then I promise you, you will have massive success. You have to take massive action. I want you guys to write down this quote for me. I want you guys, if you haven't been taking anything else down, I want you guys to write this next one for me. It's, I will do today what others won't, to have tomorrow what others don't. I'll say it again. I will do today what others won't, to have tomorrow what others don't. I think that is one of the most powerful quotes that I've ever heard. It's actually by a guy his name is Matt Morris. And it really stuck with me. I heard it, I think it was about 4 years ago. And that was something that really pushed me to have, that consistency. Like I was talking earlier, that consistency. Not worrying about if the results aren't here today, tomorrow, next week, or in 6 months, or in a year, but knowing in 3 to 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, I will have all of that I desire. Doing it today. Do the things that people aren't willing to get. There's a reason why not everybody in the world is a millionaire, right? Because they're not able, or they're not willing, because everybody's able. You just have to put yourself to it. Not everybody's willing to do the things that it takes to get to the places, that you truly want to go. We dream big. We dream big as a kid. A lot of people lose it because they start letting life, get them down, get them back, because they're not understanding that you still can do whatever you want in this world. You just have to be willing to take massive action. So once you get this game plan, make your game plan for Q1 or for 2023, write it down. Josh is going to talk about goal setting. I want you guys to go through it with them. And once that is done, no more planning. I was about to curse, my fault. No more planning. Just do it. Like Nike said, just do it. Start taking massive action. Hold yourself accountable. Have the consistency. Put that time in every single day. Whatever you are able to give to the business, give it to the business. No one's asking you to go ahead and put 10 hours in a day if you don't have that in your day. But if you can give an hour, give an hour. If you can give two, give two. If you can give 30 minutes, give 30 minutes. If there is a will, there's a way, and you will go ahead and achieve it if you really want it. So with that being said, guys, I want you to go ahead and take massive action. If you guys are excited, again, if you guys are super excited, if you guys are fired up, you guys are going to crush every single goal that you set for yourselves this year. Let me see some ones in the chat. Let me see some ones. Who is excited for their future? Who is excited for Orlando? Who is excited to go ahead and dominate 2023? Because I know I am. This is going to be the best year yet. This is my 4th year in the industry. And you know what they say about the 4th year? It is the big one. So I want everybody to come to the top with me. I want to have success with everybody. And I am, I hope to see you guys all there. I know the ones that take massive action will. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pivot to someone that has some phenomenal stuff for you guys to hear tonight. This is stuff that we implemented and went through in our business. I think it might've been like 3 years ago. And we went from, I think having like 70 people in our organization to over 1,000 over the course of like 3 to 4 months based off of these, questions and these things that he's going to talk about. These goals that we set for ourselves, really understanding, how to be successful. But this person that you're going to hear from, if you do not know him, he has helped thousands and thousands of people all around the world, achieve their goals, have success in this industry. He is a person that I have no doubt in my mind that when it's all said and done, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame of this thing, So I want you guys to, if you have not already gotten your notebooks ready, if you haven't already been taking notes, I want you guys to make sure you have it out and you guys are receptive. Listen, and then at the end of it, make sure you are implementing this. But with no more further ado, I want to introduce my brother, my best friend, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Joshua Amundson. What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
What's good, man? How you doing?
Man, I can't complain. God is good.
Yeah, excellent. Opening to the call, man. Like a couple of the quotes you said had people freaking out, and it's because that's how impactful those quotes are, dude. So I appreciate you sharing that stuff, guys. Show some love for Jay. Drop some fire in the chat. Absolute beast, and we will continue this call, man. I'm very grateful to be in business with people like Jay, man. He's a strong leader. He's got charisma. He's passionate, and he's here to help everyone, man. So really, really grateful that I got to meet him in college and become business partners with him. But guys, the end of this call, the back half of this, it's going to be a little different. Okay. And sorry, just doing chat. It's not meant for you to get fired up, pumped up, excited, and motivated. That is not what this end part of the call is going to be. Okay. This is going to be a pretty interactive end part of the call. And it's going to be really, really important that you guys have a notebook out. And I'll say that a few more times though, but you're going to get a sense of direction from what we're about to do on this back part of the call. Okay. Without direction, you're running circles in business. Okay. So it's going to give you a sense of direction for this business. You'll know exactly what areas that you're doing good in, that you have to work on and improve and so on. And so you need to get a notebook out. This part of the call is pretty much pointless if you're not going to actually write it down. And like, I'm not even kidding. Like if you don't have a notebook, this part of the call is pretty much pointless, but I'm really excited to share it with you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Josh Amundson. I'm 25 years old out here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Absolutely in love with Driven, man. The vision is just unbeatable. I don't know a single company doing what we're doing here right now. And so this year, 2023 is going to be absolutely insane. So many success stories and families and lives are about to change from this company right here, right now that you're a part of. So if you did just recently join this company, welcome to the best network marketing and trading financial education company on the planet. Very proud of you for joining and excited for this journey with you guys. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to show you a list of exclusive leadership training questions. Okay. These are exclusive leadership training questions. And I'm going to share my screen basically, and I'm actually going to take around 3-4-ish minutes, and I want you guys to fill it out. Okay, 3 to 4 minutes. I want you guys to fill it out. Like I said, if you don't do this, it's completely pointless. There's a whole point to this, guys. You want to treat this business like a multi-million-dollar business that it is. If you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like it's a hobby, and most hobbies cost money. I think we can all agree on that. So let's treat it like a business, and it will pay you like one. Your job is to make sure, as a leader in this business, if you want to go out there and you want to earn a passive residual income on a full-time basis or part-time, your job is to make sure your team is focused, locked in, on your vibration and frequency. That's what your job is as a leader. And so, okay. So years ago, my mom has been in network marketing for about 20 years. And, years and years ago, I think it was like 4 years ago, I was taught basically these questions. And, these taught me basically how to elevate, my leadership skills, how to help me elevate my team's leadership skills. It taught me, basically how to get my team to take this serious. That's what it taught me what to do. And what me and a lot of top leaders do is we will take these questions and we'll actually, message our top 5 to 10 leaders, call them, and we'll sit on a one-on-one call with them. your top 5 to 10 leaders in your business. Okay. You sit on a one-on-one call with them and you go for 20 minutes over these questions with them. And so this will allow them to actually take it serious. It will help them get focused, follow one course until successful. Focus. That's the goal of this. And it's a quick meeting. It's not meant to be super long. This one might be a decent amount of time. I'll try to go quick for you guys, but it helps them identify their goals every single week and stay focused. Okay. So it'll actually help you and your team accomplish your 30, 60, 90-day goals instead of running circles. This will actually help, a lot of people accomplish it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to play a little bit of music, and I would like you guys to just fill this out during this time. Okay. Please take this serious. The more serious you take this, the more income you are likely to make. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive into the information. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen right about now, and I'll give you guys about 3-4 minutes to write it down. All right. Super excited to go through these with you guys. If you actually took a notebook out and you have been going through these and writing it down, I want you to drop a 7 inside the chat. Don't be the bandwagon. I want you to be honest. Put a 7 in the chat if you're legitimately writing that stuff down. All right. Just 1 7 in the chat, guys. There should be at least 50 people in this chat that is actually writing this down. And I'll tell you what, I don't care how long you've been in network marketing. I don't care how much money you've made. I don't care what ranks you've hit and what companies. If you're not doing this right now, you're not leading by example for the company. You're not leading by example for your team. So really important that everyone, I hope, is writing this down because it will change your life. Okay. Well, let's get into it, everyone. I am super excited to go through this. All right. So the reason why I was saying, you want your team to be focused. There's a reason why, we said follow one course until successful. And that is very true. You do want to follow one course till you're successful. What does that mean though? When you first enter your entrepreneurial experience, you are like, I want to do everything. You get into network marketing, you start trading and investing, and you're like, this is going to be amazing. You get started, and then you realize, wow, this is a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. And then eventually you reach to the point where you see something called the shiny object syndrome. You see another business that you think you could do. You see, e-commerce, drop shipping, and then you go do that and you're super excited. And then you're like, oh, it's a little bit harder than I thought. And then you go see another thing. You go see, door-to-door sales. You go do that. You get really excited. Also a little bit harder than I thought. Guys, most entrepreneurs are doing too many things at once. When I started this industry 4 years ago, I swear to God, I was trying to work on 4 to 5 different businesses. And I was also in school. It was just a mess. And here's the thing. If you're not focused, follow one course until successful. Success in my eyes, when I heard that, was 10K a month or more. That was my, I guess, definition of success in terms of, entrepreneurship. I was told by my mentor, do not start another business until you have at least been making 10K a month in the one that you're currently trying to do. Because if you do start another business, odds are you're never going to make 10K a month in any of them if you're doing too many at once. Okay. That's why we say focus, follow this course until you're successful in it. Okay. So these questions helped Jay and I and a lot of different people go from, us specifically. When I found out about it, I was making $1,000 a month of residual income and passive income from network marketing. And it now, I guess when we started implementing it, it allowed us to go past the 6-figure mark on a yearly basis. And so these are real. This isn't, up for question. This isn't, does it work? Does it not? This is what has to be done. Okay. So this call, like I said, it's not really it's not about going out and just building your business. That's not what this is about. This is about creating leaders. Okay. Cause you've heard it before, leaders are not just born out of nowhere. They are created. That is my opinion. They are created. Every great leader and every successful leader at one point, they had someone believe in them. Every single person who's had massive success had someone believe in them. Your team needs you to believe in them. You got to let them know, hey, man, girl, I believe in you. I believe in your ability to be successful in this, and I fully back it. I'm here to help you, and you can do this. Okay. You got to believe in them. All right. So in order for people to start believing you, if you're brand new in this call, how do I get someone to believe in me? Maybe you're brand new. They need to see that you're going to take this serious. That's what they need, man. Mentors aren't just, you don't just pick mentors. The mentors appear when the student's ready. So you got to let them know you're serious by backing up your actions and what you say you're going to do with actions. Okay. Just don't be the type of person that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That type of person never amounts to anything, and the type of person was like, I'm not going to tell my friends or family because I'm embarrassed. You got to be all in if you want to have success in this business. That's really what it is. If you want to be having, a full-time income in network marketing, you got to be all in, both feet in, burn the bridge. I saw someone put it in the comments. Beautiful. So you got to be all in to have success in this, right? You can't go half in. So these questions will continue to help you create who you were meant to be. Okay. These questions are going to continue to help you create who you were meant to be. And so, they're going to help you develop your leadership skills. I am still developing my leadership skills 100%. However, it's important to pass down the things that you learn. Okay. Because it's not about what or what you can do. It's about what you can teach. Because what you can teach is duplicatable. And duplication is what everyone in here should be after. It's duplicating your business so it can grow to massive levels. Okay. So, how can you help your team? Go through these questions with them. All right. So what we are going to do is, I just want to quickly tell you, this is, like I said, about creating leaders, because without leaders, you're not going to have foundation in your business. Okay. I want to give you an example. Let's say you have 200 personal enrollments. You've signed up 200 people in the business yourself, but everyone else in your business hasn't signed up anyone. You are expected to help all 200 of those people now by yourself. That's how it is. You didn't create any leaders. So, you gotta, help the people in your business understand that this is about leadership. It's creating leaders. Okay. So I want to tell you guys, a quick story about it. When I first got started in network marketing, I was so scared. It was 6 months in. I had never done a presentation in my life. And, I heard a really good quote from Corey this weekend. He said, you don't truly own your own business until you've mastered the presentation. I was like, wow, that's insanely true. But when I got started, it took me 6 months to gather the courage to even do a presentation. I was so scared. I'm talking like shaking on the call. And my mentor was like, dude, you're going to be fine. Let's just do it. You got to fall on your face, get a little bloody, make it happen. It's whatever, you're not going to die. And so, I did it. And I actually signed the person up. I was shocked. I was baffled. And then I did it again. And again, I didn't sign people up every single time. Absolutely not. I had a really low conversion rate actually in the beginning, but I kept doing it over and over and over. And eventually I got really good at doing the presentation. I got really, really good at showing the information and educating the person and collecting a decision. I got really good at it. And I got so good to the point, after tons of calls, like hundreds of presentations, I got so good to the point where I was telling people on my team, hey, listen, you send me your prospects directly to me, send me their phone number, send me their full name. You don't even have to do anything. I will reach out to your person for you on your behalf. I will get them on a call. I'll set up a date and time. I'll get them on a call. I will present to your person for you. You don't even have to be there. And I will sign them up under your referral link. And I was like, deal. And everyone on my team was like, yeah, are you kidding me? I was going to town. I was 10 calls a day, 15 calls a day, losing my voice. It was going nuts. That was awesome. But guess what? I started burning myself out. There was all these people in the business and I was looked at to help all of them. I didn't create any leaders. I helped people hit ranks. I helped people make income, but they didn't even know how they got to the rank they are at. I was doing it for them. And so I'm telling you, this can happen to a lot of you in here. You start gaining that success and, you turn into presentation man or presentation girl, you got to create leaders. And that's what this call is about, because without leaders, it's going to be haywire. All right. So let's go through these guys. So the first thing in obviously these exclusive leadership training questions is, what is your why? All right. Now your why is, why are you about to work your face off and make a ton of money? Why are you doing this journey? Why are you joining this business? Why are you starting, this relationship with us and this business? Your why should make you cry. It's supposed to be tight to your heart. The thing that matters the most to you in the entire world is why you're doing this. For me, it's my parents. I do not want them to work another day in their entire life I want to pay off their house. And then after that, I want to help my brothers and sisters, and I want to go to my cousins. I want everyone to be set, like set, that's my why. I want everyone to explore and feel the best things in life, travel, take them on crazy vacations, show them that, hey, this life is possible, and if they're not willing to work for it, I'm going to work for it. I don't even care. I'm going to help them. So you got to figure out your why, because when times get tough, your why is what's going to keep you going. Jay says it, he says it all the time. He basically says he doesn't like the word motivation because motivation is just a feeling and it goes away and then you give up. Dedication means no matter if the feeling leaves of being excited and fired up and pumped up, you're still going to do what you have to do every day, even when you absolutely don't want to. Your why is what's going to get you to do it. You're going to remember when you don't want to message those 10 new people today, when you don't want to hop on these calls, when you don't want to do the presentation or whatever, you'll remember your why, and your why will keep you going. Okay. So put your why everywhere. Put your why in the home screen of your phone, put your why in your car, put your why on your wall, pictures of it, whatever it is. Okay. So let's get into this. What is your current rank? A lot of you are brand new. And if you don't know the ranks, that's completely fine. Okay. Some of your customers on this call, some of your representatives on this call, some of you have already hit ranks on this call. The first rank in the company when you apply to become a distributor is representative. You are now a representative in the company, and you can now earn commissions and passive residual income through the compensation plan. Okay. So what is your current rank? I want you to write that down. If you are a customer, just put representative. If you haven't hit any ranks or put any people in yet, just, representative. And I want you to write it down. All right. Even if you're just a senior rep, guys, let me tell you about senior representative. I like to call this the belief rank. Okay, this is the belief rank. You've now hit the first rank in the company where you are earning a passive residual income. You are now earning money through the compensation plan. When I hit that, I was so excited. I was so excited when I hit my first rank in my company. I was freaking out because what that told me is, hey, if I can hit this rank, that means I can hit the next one. And if I can hit the next one, that means I can hit the next one, and so on and so forth. If you can hit senior rep and above, you can hit any rank in the company. That's how that works. Because all a diamond is in this company, or whatever rank you want to say, is just a consistent senior representative over and over and over and over and over and over. It's a consistent senior representative. That's what will get you to any income you want in this company. Okay. So senior rep and above is the belief rank. I hope you guys write that down. All right. If you're unranked right now, just understand that 90 to 95% of the time, if you are unranked, it's simply because you haven't shared the opportunity enough yet. You have not spoken to enough people yet. That's literally what it is. It's not you guys can't hear me right now. If you guys can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat real quick. Okay. Angie might need some help. There's usually a little microphone button in the top left corner if you're on your cell phone to make it a little louder. But 90 to 95% of the time, if you aren't ranked yet, it's simply because you haven't spoken to enough people. Okay. It's just plain and simple. All right. So that's not 100% true. I won't say that, but I want to break down something that changed my entire perspective of this business. All right. This is called the Rule 7. And I'm going to break it down for you real quick. I'll drop it in the chat so you guys can see a little bit of what it looks like. So I'll actually copy it right here and I'll paste it into the chat. What I want you to do is I want you to save that in your notes. Okay. I want you to copy that and I want you to put it in your notes so you can show this to someone when they're in the same situation. All right. So what this basically says is out of every 7 people that you call or that you text, because a lot of people text, roughly 1 of them are going to respond to you, even give you a response. All right. Now, these are just averages. They're not 100%. Okay. But out of every 7 people you message, roughly 1 of them will respond. And out of every 7 people that respond, roughly 1 of them will actually get on a call to hear the information. They'll actually take the time to get on a presentation. Out of every 7 people that respond, 1 of them will get on a call. Out of every 7 people that actually get on a call, roughly 1 of them is actually going to join. 1 of them will actually say yes and get started. All right. Out of every 7 people that actually get started, 1 of them is going to take it serious, like really serious. And you're going to notice it. And out of every 7 people who take it serious, Boom. One of them is a diamond in your business. One of them's a Corey Cromwell. One of them's a Jared, Alex, or Gary, a Jay Patnode, Jay Adams, like tons of different people in this business. Diamonds, people who are all in. But here's the deal. You have to get through the numbers to go find those people. There is a thing called the lucky network marketer. I have very rarely seen it. I've rarely seen it. Who knows what the lucky network marketer is? Drop a 3 in the chat real quick if you know what the lucky network marketer is. Drop a 3 in the chat if you know what a lucky. Jay goes 3. I do. Guys, the lucky network marketer is the person that talks to 5-10 people and all of a sudden finds an absolute diamond out of nowhere right away. It's not like winning the lottery. That's not what it's like. But that is called the poser mentality. When you think, hey, man, I'm going to go share this with these 3 people that I know that are super hard workers and they'll dominate this. And then all of a sudden they actually do. That is called the lucky network marketer. It does not happen very often at all. So I look at that as it's called being the poser network marketer. Okay. When everyone gets started, including myself, we all start as posers. We think, hey, I'm going to go share this with 10, maybe 20 people, they'll definitely do this, and eventually you start sharing it with them, what it is. And, people are like, no. And now you're running out of people. And now you're at your 10, 20 people. And you're like, this doesn't work. No one wants to join. No one wants to do this. I'm done. That's called being a poser. All right. Now, the next step is turning yourself into the amateur level. And you can skip levels, by the way. The amateur level is where you're like, all right, you know what? I understand it's going to take more than 10 to 20 people to build this organization. I understand that. So, you make a list of 100, 200 people, right? You're filling notebooks up. You're like, I'm doing this, and you start going through it. You start getting through the numbers. Some people join, maybe you build a little bit of an organization and you're going through the numbers, and eventually the 200 people run out and you're like, wow, I literally ran out of people. Like, I don't know who else to talk to. I'm out. I went through the numbers. That's it. What do I do? That is amateur. Because here's the next one. Professionals, they understand that they never run out of people ever. You never run out of prospects in the world. There are 8 billion people on the planet. You see and meet people every single day. Most people are sitting there like, what people? I don't see any people. There are people on your phone, on social media, constantly in front of you. You're seeing people at the store, at the gas station, at the gym. There's people everywhere around you. And most people don't even realize it. A professional realizes that they will meet people the rest of their entire life. A professional realizes I will never run out of prospects. They're all around me. There's 8 billion people on the planet. You need 600 or so to make a 6-figure income in this business consistently, And so you understand that you never run out of people, guys. Everyone needs to get to the professional side of network marketing, where you treat this like an actual business, where you understand you'll never run out of people. All right. And so, yep, exactly what Brandon said. It is a proven fact that by the time you are 18, on average, you already know 1,000 people by their first name. That's an average statistic. So absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Brandon. So back to these questions. All right. So what is your current rank? If you're representative, cool. Senior rep, that's totally fine. If you don't know the ranks, that's okay too. What I want you to do is just write down what your current income is, all right, on a monthly basis through the passive residual income or commissions through the company. All right. You can do obviously a monetary goal as well. Money, how much income are you making through the business side of it? Not trading. This is about the business side. All right. You can do this for your 30, 60, 90-day goal as well. All right. So what is your 30, 60, and 90-day goal? All right. So this is an important one. All right. So Jay has gone over this before. There are 3 types of goals: A-type goals, B-type goals, and C-type goals. A-type goals are ones that you can complete. Brush your teeth. You can do it 100%. A B-type goal is drive from your current state across the country. That you can probably do it. Make sure the car has gas, make sure you get an oil change, tires are good, everything's running on it. You're probably going to be fine. You can make that happen. That's a B-type goal. And then a C-type goal is get to the moon. You have no idea how you're going to do it. Literally not even the first step. Have people done it before? Yes. So it's possible. However, you have no clue how you're going to do it. I've seen the most successful people in this business set C-type goals that make them nervous. Like they start freaking out like, How am I going to do that? Like, I have no clue how to do that. Here's the thing. The how doesn't matter as long as you know where you're going. You'll figure it out. Okay. You just got to set big goals for yourself. And if you don't reach that goal by the date that you have set down, because a goal without a date is just a dream. If you don't reach that goal in time, just set it again. It's okay. I've seen people be like, man, I didn't reach it. I quit. I give up. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, just reset the date attached to the goal. All right. So your 30, 60, 90 day rank goal. What I've seen a lot of people who are brand new in this business do is 30 days. My goal is $500, $600 a month in passive residual income. 60 days. My goal is, $1,000 or $2,000 a month in passive residual income. In 90 days, $5,000 in passive residual income. You can go more than that. But I would say make that your goal. If you're serious about this, even part-time, that's still good to go after. 90 days is a long time if you're doing the daily goals every single day. Okay. So again, if you don't know the ranks, you can write down an income goal for each month. All right. And this can be a recurring income or it can be a one-time income. So what do you think you have to focus on in order to accomplish those goals, the 30-day goal, the 60-day goal, the 90-day goal? Before we dive into this, in terms of the 30, 60, 90-day goal, in this company, your rank is determined from the first of the month to the end of the month. So what I do for 30-day goal, if I had this right now, I would say January 31st, 2023, because that is the end of this month. That would be my 30-day goal. That's where I would set it. Yes, it's not 30 days, but I go from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. And then the 60-day goal would be February 28th. And 90-day goal, March 31st, okay? Or it might be 30th. So what do you think that you have to focus on in order to accomplish that goal every day? What do you have to be thinking about every day? You got to be thinking about it every day. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you got to be thinking about this, okay? So I don't know what all of you wrote down, okay? This is a call where, there's a lot of people on this call, so I'm not sure what you wrote down, but I can tell you some things that, I would write down. If my goal, let's say for an example, you sign up 2 mastery packs, you have 2 people get going on 2 mastery packs, that's around $700 if you put one on the right, one on the left in your business, around $700 in commissions over the course of the month. I don't quote me, that's around what it is. Almost $1,000 for 2 people. And so, what you got to be focusing on every day. Here's some things I wrote down. Prospecting, actively reaching out to people. Okay. Prospecting. I got to be focusing on presenting every day. I got to be focused on prospecting, presenting. Another one is promoting. I got to be focused on promoting the most recent calls coming up, this call, promoting trade sessions, promoting the Orlando event. I got to be focused on promoting every day. I got to be focused on following up with people who I've already spoken to. All right. Following up with people that I've already spoken to. I got to be focused on personal development, growing my brain, watering it, feeding it, allowing it to expand. I got to be focused on utilizing social media, posting on social media. I've got to be focused on that, developing my brand. I got to be focused on that every day. Going through the numbers. I got to be focused on the rule 7 and understand that. I got to understand the rule 7 and that I have to go through the numbers in order to get where I want to go. It's plain and simple. Another thing, I got to focus on filling up my calendar. If you look at your calendar and it's completely empty, usually that correlates with how much money you're going to be making in the business. None. Okay. So you got to focus on looking at your calendar every day, looking at it for the whole week, looking at it for the month. How filled up is it? How busy are you? Okay. I got to be focused on talking to everyone. All right. Talking to everyone in your network. I got to be focused on talking to people in the business. I got to be focused on meeting people in the business, learning from them as well. I got to be focused on talking to prospects. This business is built, in my opinion, on the building side. You have the fastest and best success if you are focused on having mastery packages join the business, okay? Mastery packages. One, your prospect or your customer will get the most value, 1000%. In every company I've been in, I always have the best package. I'll never tell someone to get something that I don't have, okay? So, focus on selling mastery packages. That's one of them, selling mastery packages, all right? So let's go through The daily goals. Number 5, what are the daily goals that you must do in order to accomplish your 30, 60, and 90-day goal? Now, this one right here, number 5, this is the one that's going to get it done. Okay. If you can do these every day, you have a 99.9% chance of accomplishing your goals if you do it every single day. It's not guaranteed, obviously, because I can't guarantee anything, but I'm telling you, if you do this every day, you will see massive results. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop these into the chat. All right. So I want you to copy these. I want you to put them into your notes. All right. Right here. So these are the daily goals for hitting advisor, which is around $11,000 a month in residual income. Okay. So these are the daily goals. So let's talk about them. Let's write them down, pen to paper. Let's make the connection. First daily goal, messaging 10 new people a day. All right. Remember, guys, I told you this is the call where it will be, numbers and data and strategic business, planning. That's what this call is. And so this is what will seriously get the results you're looking for. Messaging 10 new people a day about our business. Number 2, following up with 10 old people every day about our business. 10 people you've already messaged, 10 people you've already spoken to about the business, 10 people you've already shown the presentation to, 10 people that have almost joined but didn't quite join yet. And the reason it's 10 and 10 is because you got to have a sustainable daily goal. A lot of people, when they get started, they're like, I'm going to message 100 people a day. You ready? You watch this. And I'm like, you sure about that? And they're like, dude, don't even question me. I already know. Like, it's done. Like, trust me. Here's the thing. You message 100 people a day. Now you get probably 50 replies. And then, as you're trying to reply to everyone by the end of the night, the next day comes another 100 people you got to message. That's more messages. And then you got another 100 people, more messages. Here's the thing. You have to also message 100 people to follow. You got to message 100 people each day that are old that you've already spoken to. Jeez, how many alerts do I got? So you want to make it sustainable. Just 10 new people every day, and then follow up with 10 old people a day. Yes, I can go ahead and paste this again. There you go. So what's the next one? Post on social media 3 to 5 times a day. I do not know a top earner in network marketing that does not have stuff on their story almost every single day. I haven't met, I think less than one hand, and I've met tons of 6-7 figure earners that do not post at least 3 to 5 times a day on their social media. Okay. So, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be just trading. You got to understand this. This could be, at least one trading thing a day, one thing pertain to the business a day, but, post going to the gym, post a personal development thing, a quote you heard, a book you're reading, post a favorite food that you're eating, post your pet, post your significant other, post going on a walk, post going on trips, vacation, post your life. You don't have to get super personal. You can keep your loved ones out of it if you'd like to, but you got to show that, you're not just an advertisement. You're not just a robot, because if you're just doing trading every day, you know what? Probably 90% of people who follow you are doing just flying through your story. One time I went to Christmas with my aunts, and there's like 30 people there, and my aunt in front of everyone. I got like 6 cousins that are my age. She goes, Josh, guess what? And I'm like, what? And she's like, the other day we were all sitting here and like, I forgot. I think we all like clicked on your story randomly at the same time. And we played a game, who could click through your story the fastest. And I was like, and they're all like, ha, ha, laughing, think it's funny. I'm like, you guys don't even know what you're about to get from me, like what kind of lifestyle you're about to have, but it's okay. I get it. They don't know what they don't know. But that's why I learned from that point on, I need to post things that provide value to all different types of people. Okay. I need to provide free value on my social media. So that's why I don't do trading every day. I post other things as well. All right. Next one on this list is personal development for 30 minutes a day. Now, this one is very important. I know it's 9:02, guys. I'm gonna try to hurry up through this call, but I'm telling you, this is really important stuff here. Okay. Personal development for 30 minutes a day is crucial. It's very, very important. All right. This is where you need to grow these 4 skills every day. Here's the 4 skills. I put it in the text. Number 1 is communication. You need to expand your communication skills. This is with your team and with prospects and just people in general. Get better at communicating with people. Next one's leadership. Guiding people, instructing people, giving them advice, holding yourself at a higher standard in a positive and open-armed way. Mindset / belief. This is arguably the hardest one for people. This is, what do you think about yourself? Do you actually believe that you can go accomplish your 30, 60, 90-day goals? Do you believe you can go full-time in this business? Do you believe in yourself? Mindset / belief. Every day I'm doing positive affirmations. I'm telling myself I am strong. I am successful. I'm a 6-figure earner. I've helped create 100 6-figure earners in the business. I'm kind. I'm compassionate. I'm focused. I'm driven. I'm telling myself this every day when I'm in the shower. That's when I get it in. All right. Number 5, the last one is network marketing. All right. And that is a skill called IPET, and we'll save that for another time. Inviting, presenting, enrolling, and training. This will be a recorded call as well, so you can always go back. So number 5, use the products and services. Go through the academy, get educated on what it is that you're sharing with people. If you can't explain your opportunity to them clean, cut, and clear, you got to go learn more about what it is that you're sharing. All right. Number 6, promote the most recent and upcoming driven / trading event on social media and in Telegram. Promote the most recent and upcoming event on social media and in Telegram. Number 7, message in the team group chats every single day. Every single day. It doesn't matter how many people you have in your team. It doesn't matter how much money you've made at all. If you start posting in the chat every day, nobody knows the difference. If they start seeing your name a lot, they're going to start looking at you like a leader. They're going to be like, who is, this Aaron person? Who's this, Maddie person? Who's this Allison person? Who's this John person? Start posting in the chats every day and really, get involved and engaged. Number 8 and 9, these are the ones that are really going to get it done. Set up and complete 3 to 5 presentations a day. Now, these are statistics for you to go full time in this business, earn, over 10K a month. That's what I did to get there. All right. Set up and complete 3 to 5 presentations a day. You could just do 1 presentation a day, 2 or 3 if you want to do it part-time, but full-time, at least 3 to 5 presentations a day. And then number 9, finally, sign up 1 new personal enrollment every single day. Now, are you going to hit that goal every day? Most likely not. Is it possible? 100%. I've seen a lot of people do it. But these daily goals, let me just tell you right now, they will help you accomplish your 30, 60, 90-day goals. If you can do this to the point where you're on autopilot, you can get this stuff done. I swear, obviously, besides the presentations, you can get it done in like an hour or 2, everything right there. Message 10 people a day. Get a text message, boom, 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 just paste, following up with people. Same thing. Hey, man, just letting you know, we have insane trading sessions this week that you have to see. I really want to start, learning with you and making some money. Are you down? That's how I would follow up with someone. Lots of different ways. All right. So these daily goals are the foundation of your entire business. Okay. It will change your entire life. All right. Let's go on to the next one. What have you been having success with lately in terms of reaching those goals? All right. Now, this is another thing where I don't know what you've wrote down, but I'll tell you what. If you're showing up to these calls, you're having success with that. That's insanely important. If you're keeping a positive mental attitude, that's super important as well. If you're practicing gratitude every day, that's important. If you're using the products and services every day, that's important as well. If you're posting in the Telegram chats, that's being successful as well. If you're messaging 10 people a day, 100%. If you're doing anything on that daily goal list, you're having success in this business. Success is not necessarily determined by your income in this business. It's determined by your ability to achieve the daily goals, your ability to actually do the daily goals. That is success with reaching those goals that you set. All right. Not success overall. That's different for everyone. All right. So, this could be being successful, having a burning desire to succeed. Like you're just fired up. Maybe you haven't gotten to where you are or want to be yet, but if you're fired up, that's success. If you're showing up to the calls, if you're speaking with your team, if you're setting up meetings, if you're leading from the front, if you're, just being engaged. All right. Number 7, what have you been struggling with? And as I'm going through this with you guys, I want you to realize, imagine you're on a call with your brand new person or someone who's in your business, your top 5 to 10 leaders, going through these questions with them. Okay. Do you see how it's getting them focused? It's showing them what their goals are. What do they need to focus on? What are their daily goals? What have they been having success with? And where we are right now, what have you been struggling with? Okay. Some people struggle with reaching out with 10 new people a day. I used to wake up in the morning and I was like, man, like I really don't want to reach out to 10 people. Like it's embarrassing. I feel nervous. I don't know what they're going to say. What are they going to think of me? What if they say no and then they don't ever want to talk to me again? Like, what if, the people start talking, smack about me? These are all things that I was worrying about in the beginning. And like Jay said, I realized that when my head hits the pillow at the end of the night, it's me against the world. It's me against the world. So I had to stop caring about what people thought. So, maybe messaging 10 new people a day is what you're struggling with. Maybe, just posting on social media. I remember the first time I posted on social media, I was like, well, we're out there now. It's out there now. You just burn the bridge, just get it done. The faster you just rip the Band-Aid off, the better it will help you. Maybe it's prospecting people in person. Maybe it's taking action on a daily basis. You look at the daily goals. What are you struggling with out of those daily goals? Because that's all you need to do right there. Maybe it's filling up your calendar or using a calendar. Maybe it's closing sales when you're on presentations. Maybe it's developing your social media brand, signing people up. There's a lot of different things. You got to determine that. All right. Be open and honest. Number 8, how do you think you can overcome those goals? What do you have to do to overcome those goals? If your problem was, filling up your calendar, how do you overcome it? You got to start looking at your calendar every single morning when you wake up and every night before you go to bed, looking at it, staring at it, becoming obsessed with it. I got to fill this calendar up. I got to get meetings into it. Time blocking, maybe it's time management. There's so many different things. Time blocking, if you don't know what that is, that's where, let's say you got a really busy day. Let's say maybe you got a significant other, who knows what the situation is. You got to put a time in the calendar. Hey, from 3 to 6 p.m. every single day, I'm going to do the daily goals every single day. From 3 to 6 p.m. You just time blocked. That time is dedicated for you and your business. All right. Maybe it's just, not caring what other people think. That's how you overcome it. If you're struggling messaging people, message one person every day. You ever heard that with reading a book? That if you're struggling reading, they say just read one page of the book, and your mind will tell you that's not enough because you just did one page. It's not enough. Do 2. It's not enough. Do 3. And that's how it gets going. Just get one message out a day. Just start with that. Okay. And so the last 2 are for you. All right. I want you to really think about this. When's the last time you got someone going? When's the last time you helped them start their journey in trading, financial education, and network marketing? I want you to write down for number 9, who are 5 new people that you've never spoken to before that you can reach out to after this call. Or even tomorrow morning, 10 before 10 people before 10 a.m. Who are 5 new people you could reach out to, write their names down. And this is where you get the ball rolling. And who are 5 people you could follow up with that were interested, but you haven't spoke to in a while. All right. 5 people you could follow up with. So for everyone who's on this call right now, and I know it lasts a decent amount of time. I want you to just think to yourself, if I implement these daily goals, if I actually do this on a day-to-day basis, what is my life going to look like a year from now? If I were to do this every single day for a year, what would my life look like? How much money would I make? Would I be living in the same spot still? Would I be able to help my family? What would your life look like if you were making $10,000 a month in this business? What would you be able to change? Who would you be able to help? Your why is what's going to keep you going on that, guys. And so what I want you to do at the end of this call is 1, complete, obviously steps 9 and 10, but I want you to think about who are the top 5 to 10 people in my business that I can set up a call with once a week, and I can go over these questions. The first call is going to take a little bit of time because it's your first one doing it with them. But the next call once a week should be 20 minutes long. Keep your team focused. All right. Focus, follow one course until successful. I learned one thing, and we can wrap this call up, right? One thing I learned that was so important, right? I one time heard this analogy or the story basically. So if I told you, look at a certain spot on your wall, imagine there's a dot on your wall. All right. I want you to stare at that dot as long as you can. All right. I want you to stare at the dot, and I don't want you to look away from it for as long as you possibly can. Okay. So you'll start staring at the dot. You'll start looking at it. You're looking at it. You're looking at this dot, right? Naturally, though, your eyes are going to just naturally get away from it, but you got to snap back to it, but they're going to randomly get away. You got to keep staring at this dot the best you can. Here's the thing. That's just like this business. The dot is your daily goals. As long as you're staring at it, you're doing the daily goals. You're doing it, but it's natural for humans, us, to veer off track. It's about how fast can you snap yourself out of it and look back at the dot? How fast can you take yourself from veering off course and snap you back on course? The more that you do the daily goals, the more you stare at this dot, the more you bring yourself back aligned with your goals, and you do it every day, and you keep yourself aligned with your goals. You bring yourself back on track when you fall off. The faster you do it and the more you do it, the easier it gets. So I encourage you, crush the daily goals. Take this business serious, reach out, ask for help. I would love to help you and give you some advice. And let's go have an amazing 2023, y'all. I appreciate everyone who hopped on the call. Let's go get it. Peace out.